Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Tactical Preview of United versus Astana, and how I think United are going to line up and how we're going to approach the game, having taken 14 teenagers, including 10 players who could make their Manchester United debuts. How awesome is that? Like, I've seen some of the naysayers, the negative Nancy's, the fucking dicks, trying to say that Ollie's doing it to save his job. Ollie's doing it because this, that, and the other. Ollie's doing it, do you know why? Because he fucking can. Because he's got some talented youngsters, for one, that have been knocking on the door, and we'll talk about those in detail in a second. But he's doing it because he's already qualified from the group. And do you know what's not the perfect way to prepare for Villa on Sunday in a fixture where we need to be good in the league? It's travelling halfway to fucking China for a game in -22. So, Manchester United are fielding probably the youngest side we've ever put into any competition, and I fucking love it. I love how much piss it's going to boil. I love how we're going to see so many commentators be going like, and that's Ethan Laird, I think, passing it to Dylan Levitt. Levitt. Oh, it's going to be fucking mint watching all these people squirm. I'm not having a fucking clue who they're talking about. But anyway, 3 players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we mentioned 4. He mentioned Lee Grant, but I'm not going to touch on Lee Grant. He mentioned 4 players. He mentioned Dijon Bernard, who I think a couple of months ago I said, I'm fucking loving watching him. I'm driving a bit of a bandwagon for him. He's a threat from corners, so that might be something to look out for tomorrow. Bit of a threat from corners, always seems to get on the end of a corner and always wants to stick it goalward. I do like Dijon Bernard. Another one that's probably unlucky if he doesn't get a debut tomorrow is going to be Teden Mengi. Definitely one for the future. Teden's a little bit of a tank at centre-half. Dijon's also a centre-half. And I think Dijon will be starting at centre-half, probably alongside Axel Tuanzebe. Ethan Laird. It's a player we've been speaking about for a while. Not been played. And I think that he's unlucky not to have featured, to be honest. If we hadn't assigned a £50 million right back this season, I think he would have played. He's been kept out when he wasn't as injured as he was being made out to be. And he's been kept out and away from international duty when he wasn't as injured as they was making him out to be. And I wonder if it was with the intention of letting him get some first-team minutes this year. If you've been excited by the meteoric rise of Brandon Williams, sit back and strap in, because what you're about to see with Ethan Laird, I think will shock you. I think come weekend, there'll be a lot of people going, got any more of that Ethan Laird we can see? Ethan's a lot more attacking. Ethan's a very comfortable in the final third, sort of more modern version of the fullback than both Brandon is and both what Wan-Bissaka is. Both of them probably a touch better than him defensively, only a touch. But they don't come near him with the ball at his feet. In the under-16s, Ethan Laird at Christmas was leading scorer with 22 goals from left-back before they moved him to right-back and before they promoted a young lad called Mason Greenwood, who I can't remember what happened to him afterwards. 22 goals at Christmas from full-back. Marcelo-ish. Now, Marcelo doesn't come in and score the way Ethan was doing in that era, but if I just sort of say that to you, from left-back, cutting inside and making things happen, that's what Ethan Laird was doing. Since he's been at right-back, he's rounded his game out more. He's still coming inside. He's got a good left foot and a good right foot. He's got a cross and he's got a shot. He's a triple threat. So, and who does he support? I can't reveal that just yet. So, I'm excited to see Ethan Laird. The guy's a tank. At 16, he's very, very strong and very, very solid. In the last couple of years, he's grown into a big frame. It looks like he just does deadlifts while he's watching Netflix all day. He is certainly one to watch. 5-star potential player is what I would call him. And I can't wait to see him unleashed. He's looked great in the Leasing.com Cup, which, let's be honest, is nothing to brag about. So let's just see what he does given the opportunity. When Wan-Bissaka got injured, I did speak to him and said, Is that your opportunity to go and take a run at that spot? He doesn't support City, for those that are in the comment going, oh, it's not City or Liverpool. It's not bad, it's just funny. If I say, is that your opportunity to go and take right back? And he said, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about taking right back by the end of the season anyway. And I don't think he's right, but I fucking love the attitude and I love the confidence. But I actually think the key player for United in this fixture is going to be Dylan Levitt. Because Dylan Levitt is a throwback player. And he's a throwback to a certain Ginger Prince. I'm sure all of you have seen. And if you've not, you need to go and dig it out. You need to go and have a look at the goal that Ramazani scored this week or last week. And you need to go and look at the ball, that backspin on the ball. Now, Dylan's probably a little on the slow side, a little on the small side, maybe a little on the weak side. But it's fucking quality. I love the attitude of him as a player. He's got a bite to him. There's a little bit of Ander Herrera around him. But there's a quality on the ball that probably even Ander Herrera didn't have relatively. It's got to be, remains to be seen whether he can do it in the first team, obviously, because this is potentially his debut this week. Dylan Levitt, a year and a week ago, I was watching play San Marino under-17s at Bangor City in like about as obscure as a fixture as you can go and watch. Hashtag Dylan Levitt Ultras if anyone else is watching. And I've gone and watched him in some of the weirdest shitholes in the world. I'd much rather go watch Wales, who I've got no affinity to whatsoever, than I would go and watch England. And I've gone and watched a lot of the Wales underage sides because of Dylan Levitt being in them. Because I think he's a footballer that you enjoy watching. Because he does things, not in a Ronaldinho, Messi kind of way, where he's beating players with his agility and his touch and going around them with his pace, where you go, wow, what are you doing? But he does things where you go, what the fuck was that? With the ball, the way Scholes did. There's no-look passes, there's passes to impossible angles, there's passes to impossible places where you go, where the fuck is this? Dylan Levitt is a player that I will seek out a match that he's playing in. And there's a few, yeah, Dylan Levitt Ultras in the comments. There's a few players in this team that I've got character about them. Jimmy Garner's another one. Dylan Levitt's one. Ethan Laird's definitely one. Deshaun, Ted and Mengi. Brandon Williams, who's not travelled, which I love, by the way, as that just cemented how much Brandon Williams is first choice. And how cool is that? And that alone is where, like the video. Like the video if you're getting excited as much as I am. If you're as excited as I am, fucking hit that like button. I like that Ollie can say to the lads, do you see Brandon Williams in this dressing room? No, you don't. Because Brandon's performances have made him my first choice fullback. And hopefully doesn't make eye contact with Luke Shaw, who might be sobbing in the corner. But all of the lads in that dressing room have got an opportunity now. That wasn't there previously. The opportunity now there is to go and stop United signing somebody in the summer. Laird is probably the closest. Levitt probably comes just after that. The two lads at centre-half, Mengi and Bernard, it's probably a touch too early for both of those. And you think if anyone's going to pop into the first team permanently, it would be Axel, just because of the progression he's already made in his career. Can Levitt make Euro 2020? I think he does make Euro 2020. I think he plays for Wales at Euro 2020. But let's get into my 11. And there's a bit of a surprise in how I see them lining up, to be honest. Now, Lee Grant in net. Some of this has basically been confirmed, and some of it is me guessing the others. Shaw at left back and Ethan Laird at right back. Deshaun Bernard alongside Axel Tuanzebe. It's going to be an interesting back line. Jimmy Garner shielding the defence, and then Gomez and Dylan Levitt making up the rest of the three in midfield. Now, we've seen these three play quite a lot together. They've got a good... They've got a good little chemistry going. They all kind of fulfill a different role in the team, and it works. So I wouldn't want to see that midfield three split up for any reason. Now, you're looking at that and going, is that Jesse Lingard up front? And why is Mason Greenwood not up front? I'll tell you. I'm going with a false nine, and that's going to be Jesse to shuttle in between the two lines. And I'm going to see Chong on the left with Mason on the right. And the reason for that is just pure basic false nines. Pure basic false nine techers where he's going to pull down into the centre of the pitch and make this a diamond, and those two are going to pincer into the centre and overlap. I think he's not his best with his back to goal, is Mason. And even though this is a very young side from United, I do still think Astana are going to play a counter-attacking side. I definitely think what you'll see is they're going to sit deep and they're going to try and punish us on the break. And I think they're going to try and soak up pressure. So to that end, Jesse Lingard in the false nine, because he can also fill a role as a bit of a number 9 in an emergency. Jesse Lingard playing in that pure false nine, which I think he's actually pretty well suited to in this particular instance. Chong on the left, making darting runs into the box, and Mason Greenwood given a very free role, but definitely on that right-hand side to make things happen in the wide areas. And then you're going to have the creation of Levitt, Gomez, and Lingard in the centre of the pitch. And I would expect both the fullbacks to be bombing on and getting into the final third. Watch out for Ethan Lair to do that, and I hope Luke Shaw has got the bit between his teeth to put some pressure on Brandon Williams. Let's see what we're saying in the comments. With so many right-footed fullbacks, could Brandon or Wan-Bissaka be converted into what? Big Ed says, Astana are crap, Alkmaar beat them. Yeah, but not with a youth team. Huge respect to every United fan who's travelled to Kazakhstan from England for this game. True story. I mean, it literally is closer to China. It's mental. Wouldn't it be great if Mason could get a hat-trick tomorrow? He fully deserves it. Be insane, wouldn't it? Plays for Wales at Euro 2020. Howson is next level delusional sometimes. Well, Mr. Omo, you do realise that last week he was literally in the squad for the qualification that got them to Euro 2020. So how is it next level delusional to assume that someone makes their debut tomorrow, probably plays another half a dozen games, considering he'd managed to get a call up to the Wales squad on the back of not playing a single senior game, and you don't think he's going to start games, or probably won't start games, but you don't think he's going to play a single minute at Euro 2020 for Wales when he's in the squad that got them to Euro 2020? I don't know if anyone's delusional, Polly. It may be you. Do I think we'll see Galbraith? Now, the players that haven't made it into this starting 11, the players that we've not spoken about, let's have a look at some of those that have travelled. Teden Menge, centre-half, 17, youngest player that has travelled out there. Arnal Puigmal. I think you could see either of those two. Damani Mella, you also might see him, I think, potentially. And yes, Ethan Galbraith. I think those, possibly with Laji Ramazani, would be the ones that you would expect to come off the bench depending on the way things are going. There's also the brilliant story as well, and I hope he isn't given minutes for the story. I hope if he gets minutes, it's because Nicky Butt and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would prefer him to whoever else is on the bench, and that's Max Taylor. 12 months ago, Max was fighting against cancer, and now he's travelled with the first team to go and feature in a competitive fixture in fucking Kazakhstan. What a 12-month that young man's had. I hope he can get onto the pitch, but I hope it's because, and I hope he's travelled because they think he deserves it as well. He has played this year. He's not just been plucked out of playing nowhere. He has played, and he's looked all right when he's come back as well, albeit with double long hair now. So hopefully we see a raft of debuts tomorrow. We're in for some for definite because Ollie's confirmed they're starting. But it'd be very interesting to see who comes off the bench. Could Kovar be one of those? Would he substitute his goalkeeper halfway through the game to give Kovar a debut? There's going to be some decisions to be made. And Joe, who we haven't really spoken about? Mason Greenwood, 4 goals in 4 starts with 1 assist so far this season. We've not spoken about Jimmy Garner. We haven't mentioned Angel Gomez. It's an exciting time to be a United fan. Let me know in the comments if we've got any questions. Where does Taylor play as a centre-half? If Angel plays, it starts, is his contract sorted? No, I think it'd just be because he's playing. Have we seen the last of Delo? That's an interesting one, is it? Where's Delo? Chong and Gomez leaving at the end of the season? I think so. Sam says, you say I'm a fair man. In that case, what is Ollie not doing right at the moment that he can do better? I do think he could probably do a little bit more in terms of experimenting, but he experimented with his tactics a little bit at Sheffield United. It didn't really work. I don't think you can blame him for a lot of that. Some of his selection has been a bit thingy. Maybe he gives more chances than I would. I'd have got rid of certain players well quicker, but he is. I think he's doing a decent job, to be honest. I don't think how you could have definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be picking Pereira regularly, but then again, you go, well, if you don't pick him, who the fuck else are you going to play? How long till Hannibal is ready? It's going to be a while, I would expect. Pujmal is a real gem. Watch out for him if he comes on. Mengi is the best centre-back in the academy. Not necessarily going to argue with you on that one. The youngest player to travel's always something, isn't it? Why don't we send Levitt and Garner out to the Championship to get some proper game time? Do you know what I haven't heard? Is if we are sending people out in January. Normally you hear that that's going to happen come January. I haven't heard anything like that. Oh yeah, and the Wales manager might also be a United legend. That might have something to do with it. Big Ed says, I remember you talking about Sancho before anyone knew him. Who is the current United Europa team can be the next Sancho? Led's a 5-star potential player. Led's probably got the highest potential outside of Greenwood and Gomez. Led's the next one with that potential. Levitt depends on what he does physicality wise, because I don't know what he's going to be like playing against dudes. Playing against other underage teams, he looks fantastic. But there is something like, James Wilson never became an athlete. And I hope that doesn't happen with Dylan. I hope Dylan's able to just fucking get on the deadlifts and just get jacked. It'd be so encouraging if we beat these with our youth team. You're not wrong. How's this group of academy players compared to previous years without going crazy? I think this is probably on par with our 2011 team in terms of it's one of the best since then, I would think. Yeah, I would say it's probably that. Where you're going to see, look out at that 2011 team. Look how many people are still playing at decent levels all around, from Will Keane and Michael Keane to Robbie Brady to Pogba to Lingard. There's so many players that have got games in there. Any chance of Galbraith? I think Galbraith comes off the bench, to be honest. Especially later in the game, he's a fucking busy, hard-working midfielder, and I think he would relish coming on. If Chong has a cracking game, what do I think Ollie will do? I wouldn't think either of those things are likely. If we only played in Spain, so players didn't have to bulk up to survive. It is what it is, isn't it? Have I seen Jose Bumboys claiming Delo is better than Wan-Bissaka? Just fucking block him and move on, mate. Did Wan-Bissaka travel? No. No, and I think it's very interesting that Nicky Butt travels and you're looking at Carrick and McKenna sticking behind with the lads. I hope we see a nice rested side ahead of Villa, because Villa's going to be a tough ask, and it's shit saying Villa at home's a fucking tough ask. It really is. But we've got to be realistic about where we are. We can't be arrogant enough to think, well, we are Manchester United. Yeah, we are, and we should demand better for being it. But you also have to understand the reality of the situation. And we are no longer the team we were 10 years ago when we had Ballon d'Or winning players and we was in the final of the Champions League. We're not even in the Champions League at the moment. So you can't walk around swanning about the place thinking you're going to win 19 of your home games a season. You're just not. Is there some agenda against Chong? No. Just being realistic about him. Like, Jesus, I get people say, oh, you hype up too many of these academy players. And then when you say one of them is like, I don't think he's going to make it, people go, oh, agenda. Fucking can't win, can you? I'd like to see us work patterns of play. I want to see us more organised, passing and moving and getting cutbacks from the byline. Yeah, the last goal that we scored at the weekend is what I want to see us do more of, but I think it comes from the midfield. I definitely think that comes from the midfield. Right, I'm going to bounce, but before I go, I will throw a link in the comments. So if you're looking for it, come and find it. We raised just short of £6,000 this weekend on a 24-hour podcast. Thank you to everybody who came and joined and appeared on that and donated to that and shared that and everything else. We made a big difference. I think Marcus is going to be tweeting something about it today, or it might be in the morning, talking about how much we've raised, but there's still time to donate for another 11 days. The link is open to donate to. So if you're interested in donating, like I said, we raised just short of 6,000, and that's going to be making boxes that I think we're going to be going distributing in Manchester this Christmas. So thank you guys for everyone that's donated and everyone that won the auctions and all that kind of stuff. I've had yesterday off with a bit of illness, and today's been a nightmare. So tomorrow we're going to look to try and get all of that stuff posted out. If you've just won one of those items, they're literally right here, just off camera. So as soon as we get the opportunity, we'll be looking to get those out to you. There's some fantastic prints that people have won. There's Marcus's match worn shirt, so there's all sorts of stuff going on. So thanks to everybody. We did all right there, didn't we? So we'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.